University of Notre Dame was founded in November of 1842 by Reverend Edward Sorin and is located adjacent to South Bend, Indiana. Sorin envisioned the school as being the greatest Catholic university in America. Today, Notre Dame is a large Catholic research university and is well known for its Catholic heritage, tradition, fighting Irish sports teams, and of course, its several haunted buildings and numerous ghosts on campus. Reverend Sorin passed away on Halloween of 1893, but that hasn't stopped him from always keeping an eye on his university. His spirit has been spotted wandering through the main building, south dining hall, and campus grounds. An apparition of an elderly priest with a long beard can be found roaming the corridors and grounds of the main building. Many administrators report the feeling of constantly being watched, despite knowing they're alone. The south dining hall is easy to identify because it's the only red brick building on campus. Workers in the dining hall have heard unexplainable moans, claps, and flashes of light, with reports of a floating spirit that has been attributed to the ghost of Reverend Sorin. We believe, however, the south dining hall may be haunted by a different spirit, because it wasn't built until 1927, 24 years after Sorin's death. Columba Hall sits between the two lakes on campus. There have been reports of Potawatomi tribesmen riding horses through the halls. On some nights, the sound of galloping horses can be heard around the building. An apparition of a brave and his horse are frequently spotted going up and down the front steps. It is thought that the Potawatomi are in search of their burial ground that Columba Hall was built on top of. St. Liam Hall is the location of the Student Health Center, where stories of kind nuns who are seen making their rounds after hours disappear without a trace. Also, mysterious 911 calls come from within the building, but upon investigation, no one can find out who or what made the call. The calls have even occurred during winter break when no one was in the building or on campus at all. Washington Hall has witnessed the most tragedy on campus. Originally, it was built for the Music and Performing Arts Department as a musical hall and theater. Today, it is the home to several spirits that make it the most haunted building on campus. In 1886, a steeplejack working on the Flyloft Hall fell to his death. Ever since, unexplainable footsteps can be heard on the roof on quiet nights. In 1919, student professor Jim Manavis passed away in the building. His spirit likes to entertain with a single blast from a French horn or trumpet that can be heard coming from the empty music hall. On a cold night in 1920, the legendary fighting Irish football player George the Gipper Gipp returned to Notre Dame's campus late after curfew and found his dorm locked. The Gipper went to Washington Hall because he knew the rear door was often left open. However, the door was locked, and the Gipper was forced to sleep outside on the front steps. By the morning, he had contracted pneumonia and eventually died from a strep throat infection due to a lack of knowledge of antibiotics at that time. In the hospital, he told his football coach, "When the team is up against it, when things are wrong and the breaks are beating the boys, ask them to go in there with all they've got and win just one for the Gipper. I don't know where I'll be then, but I'll know about it, and I'll be happy." After his death, the Gipper's ghost began to be spotted in the early pre-dawn mornings, sitting on the steps of Washington Hall. He has appeared throughout the theater and the green room. People often report the feeling of a light, encouraging pat that has been attributed to the Gipper. It is thought that he returned to where he spent his last night on campus to watch over the Fighting Irish. In 1946, Brother Canute Lardner died while watching a movie in the Washington Hall. Multiple janitors have seen an elderly Irish man with balding red hair gazing out a window on the first floor. Some have claimed the Irishman even asked them to open the window, but that Lardner vanished before they could help him. Violent poltergeists have been reported in the Washington Hall. Things fly off shelves, doors close unexplainably, music comes from the empty music hall, and people are pushed and have marks left on their bodies by invisible forces. This is all activity that might have been caused by one of the ghosts we mentioned earlier, or it may be a more sinister spirit trying to make their presence known in the most haunted building of the very haunted campus of the University of Notre Dame. Thanks, strangers, for watching. Please like, subscribe, and share this video with a friend. We upload every Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. And check the description below for sources, photo and video credits, and links to extra reading you may want to check on the University of Notre Dame. And remember, stay strange.